Dad, you are an icon, a legend, a storyteller, and most importantly, the best girl dad any young woman could ever dream of.
That letter, that speech, that image of a perfect family. Everyone bought it. But what if the story Vanessa Bryant has been carefully protecting is not the full story?
The first thing that comes to mind, man, is all about family. And as I look around this arena, we're all grieving. We're all hurt, we're all heartbroken.
Grieving together, supporting each other, building something in the shadows of a tragedy the whole world was watching.
One thing I come out and saying how strong and how bold, how powerful Vanessa is.
Now, why is LeBron James speaking about another man's widow like that? And why is Ciara Princess Wilson the one finally connecting the dots everyone else has been too afraid to touch? Because here's what nobody is saying out loud. Vanessa Bryant may not want answers about that helicopter crash. And the NBA world, they know exactly why. Let's set the scene properly because context is everything here. For 5 years, Vanessa Bryant has been positioned as the untouchable grieving widow, the loyal wife, the devoted mother, the woman who sued the county for $28 million and won, the woman who showed up to memorials with her daughters dressed in purple and gold, preserving Kobe's legacy like it was sacred scripture. And publicly, nobody questioned it. Nobody dared. But quietly, behind the scenes of foundation galas, NBA charity events, and very carefully curated Instagram posts, a different story has been unfolding. One that Ciara Princess Wilson, wife of Super Bowl champion Russell Wilson, and one of the most connected women in professional sports, has reportedly begun pulling the thread on. According to sources close to the entertainment and sports world, Ciara has been privately telling people in her circle that Vanessa Bryant's social life since Kobe's passing has been far more active than anyone publicly knows, specifically with NBA-adjacent figures. Not just friendly dinners, not just foundation meetings, something with a lot more heat behind it. And the timing of when this allegedly started circulating, it lines up almost perfectly with those viral photos of Vanessa and LeBron James that broke the internet.
One thing I come out and saying how strong and how bold, how powerful Vanessa is. Stand up there the way she did.
Now, listen to that again. LeBron isn't just paying respects. That is a man who sounds personally invested. That is admiration that goes beyond the basketball court. And people in the know are starting to say it goes beyond friendship too. So how does Ciara fit into this? Russell Wilson moves in elite NBA and NFL circles. His wife Ciara is not just a pop star. She is deeply embedded in the culture of professional sports wives and partners. She attends the same events, sits courtside at the same games, and has personal relationships with women connected to almost every major player in the league. That network talks. And according to what's been circulating, Ciara reportedly did not wake up one day and randomly decide to share tea about Vanessa Bryant. The information came to her through channels that connect directly back to the NBA world, sources describing interactions, outings, and a level of closeness between Vanessa and at least one prominent NBA figure that has shocked even people who thought they knew the whole picture. Now, who exactly is being named? The whispers are loudest around LeBron James, but sources suggest LeBron may not be the only name in this story. Think about that for a second. Vanessa Bryant, a woman who has spent 5 years presenting herself as completely devoted to Kobe's memory, who shared throwback photos of her and Kobe walking hand in hand through a stadium tunnel as recently as January 2025.
We really had an amazing love story. We loved each other with our whole beings.
She said that in front of the world, and nobody is saying that love wasn't real. But grief is complicated, and 5 years is a long time, and powerful men have a way of filling voids that ordinary people can't. The question Ciara is allegedly asking, and that her circle is now quietly repeating, is not whether Vanessa has moved on emotionally. That's human. That's expected. The question is whether the relationships she's built inside the NBA bubble are influencing decisions that go far beyond her personal life. Decisions like what to do with the investigation into Kobe's death. Here is where this story takes a genuinely dark turn. So stay with me. The NTSB released a 72-page report. Pilot error, spatial disorientation, foggy conditions, case closed. Except it was never fully closed in the minds of people closest to Kobe. Now, the mainstream answer has always been, those are just conspiracy theories. Grief makes people look for meaning where there is none, and many of those theories absolutely fabricated. The pharmaceutical lawsuit angle debunked. The QAnon Clinton connection, a forged post. The anti-Semitic Sikorsky theory, completely baseless. But here's what gets buried underneath all the noise from the crazies. There were real, unanswered procedural questions about that flight. Questions about why the helicopter was cleared to fly in those conditions. Questions about communications between the pilot and air traffic control. Questions about the decision-making chain that put 9 people on that aircraft in zero visibility fog. Those questions have never been fully explored outside of the NTSB's narrow scope, and sources are now suggesting that Vanessa Bryant, who would be the most powerful voice demanding a broader inquiry, has shown zero interest in pushing for one. None. In 5 years, she has never publicly called for any additional investigation beyond what the NTSB provided. Why? Some people who knew Kobe personally have reportedly asked that exact question. Why isn't she pushing harder? Why does she seem more focused on settling with the county over photo sharing, which, yes, was a genuine violation, than on demanding the fullest possible accounting of why that helicopter went down? She found out her husband and daughter were dead from a notification on her phone before anyone official told her. That level of institutional failure, and her response has been to settle financially and move forward quietly. Ciara's circle is allegedly suggesting that Vanessa's close ties to powerful figures inside the NBA have given her both the financial security and the social incentive to let sleeping dogs lie, to protect certain relationships, to avoid an investigation that might pull powerful people into uncomfortable questions about who knew what and when. Now, here is the layer that makes this story genuinely heartbreaking, because you have to understand what Kobe actually left behind before you can understand what's potentially being protected. Those letters, the ones that surfaced after the crash. This was a man who wrote love letters, who drew angels on envelopes, who planned birthday surprises from beyond the grave, essentially. Because he'd written that letter long before January 26, 2020, Kobe Bryant had undergone a transformation that people who only knew him as the Black Mamba never fully understood.
Kobe was the MVP of girl dads, or MVD. He never left the toilet seat up. He always told the girls how beautiful and smart they are. He taught them how to be brave.
This was not the cold, ruthless competitor. This was a man who did bath time, who sang silly songs in the shower with his daughters, who had it down to a science 8 times up and down the hallway just to get baby Capri to sleep. And this man, this version of Kobe, is the one whose death has never been fully reckoned with, because the people closest to his legacy, the people who should be loudest, are instead quietly building new lives, new relationships, and new alliances within the very world that surrounded him. Ciara's alleged revelation cuts deep precisely because it touches something sacred. If Vanessa has truly moved on romantically with figures from the NBA community, the same community Kobe poured his entire soul into, and if that has in any way softened her resolve to demand the fullest investigation into his death, then those letters, those songs in the shower, that angel on the envelope, they deserve better. Let's go back to those photos of LeBron and Vanessa, because now that we have all of this context, they hit very differently. The interaction at the 2023 NBA All-Star Game where LeBron was photographed hugging Vanessa's daughters. The new photos circulating now showing them in what appears to be a private gathering. Relaxed body language, genuine expressions, zero stiffness.
When we're going through things like this, the best thing you can do is lean on the shoulders of your family.
Lean on the shoulders of your family. LeBron said that the night after Kobe died, at the Staples Center, in front of the entire basketball world. And for 5 years, he has made himself available to be exactly that. A shoulder, a presence, a connection. LeBron has spoken about Kobe with reverence so deep, it sounds personal. He has publicly aligned himself with Vanessa's causes, praised her strength in ways that go beyond courtesy, and maintained a closeness with the Bryant family that the NBA community has noticed but largely stayed quiet about. Neither LeBron nor Vanessa has commented on the viral photos. Their silence, as the internet erupts, is its own kind of statement. And Ciara, according to sources, hasn't been quiet at all. The story she's allegedly telling isn't just about LeBron. It's about a pattern. A woman with enormous social capital inside the sports world using that capital to build a protected circle. One where she is insulated from scrutiny, from investigation, and from anyone asking questions about what really happened on that foggy January morning in Calabasas. Here is the thing about this story that nobody wants to say plainly. Vanessa Bryant is not a villain. Let's be crystal clear about that.
We will not be able to see Gigi go to high school with Natalia and ask her how her day went. We didn't get the chance to teach her how to drive a car. I won't be able to tell her how gorgeous she looks on her wedding day.
That grief is real. That pain is unimaginable. Nobody who has listened to Vanessa speak about Gianna can question the depth of what she lost. But grief does not exist in a vacuum, and powerful people, powerful grieving people, make choices. Choices about who they let in, choices about what battles they fight and what battles they quietly walk away from. Ciara Wilson, whether intentionally or not, has reportedly cracked open a question that the sports world has been collectively avoiding. Is Vanessa Bryant's emotional and personal life since Kobe's passing connected to her apparent disinterest in pushing harder for answers about his death? And is the NBA, an institution that benefited enormously from Kobe's legacy, that has monetized his memory, that has folded the Bryant family into its own mythology, is that institution quietly relieved that the most powerful voice for accountability has been comforted into silence?
Tonight, we celebrate the kid that came here at 18 years of age. Tired at 38 and became probably the best dad that we've seen over the last 3 years, man.
LeBron said that the night the Lakers won the championship in Kobe's honor, it was emotional. It was genuine. Nobody doubts that. But LeBron also became, in that same year, one of the most present figures in Vanessa Bryant's support network. The basketball world circled its wagons around Vanessa. And Vanessa, according to Ciara's alleged revelations, has been well inside those wagons ever since. So where does this leave us? Kobe Bryant left behind letters. He left behind daughters. He left behind a foundation, a legacy, and a love story that the world bought into completely, and that Vanessa has curated with extraordinary skill. We're still the best team. She said that to Kobe's casket, and millions of people cried. But Ciara Wilson is allegedly telling her circle that the team has changed, that new players have been drafted in, and that the woman who fought a county for $28 million over crash site photos has shown suspiciously little interest in fighting for the fullest possible truth about why the crash happened at all. Whether Vanessa has moved on romantically, that's her right as a human being. Nobody owns her grief. Whether LeBron James or any NBA figure has become more than a friend. That's between the people involved. But the intersection of those personal choices with the absence of accountability for Kobe's death, that is a public conversation. And Ciara Princess Wilson, intentionally or not, just opened the door. The question now is whether anyone is brave enough to walk through it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you buying what Ciara's circle is saying? Or is this a friendship being misread by people who can't accept that a widow is allowed to live her life? Let us know. And if you're new here, subscribe, because we are just getting started.